fourth refresh of the Note line of Infinix smartphones positions the Note 4, all variants of it, as one of the best, if not the best bang for buck device out there on the market right now. The value proposition in the world of Galaxy S8s, iPhone Xs, Galaxy Note 8s and Pixels, to mention a few, borders on ridiculous. Let me reiterate, if you have got a budget of around 50,000 naira to spend on a smartphone and you don't mind quote-unquote a big phone, then this device should be very high on your list of choices. I spent about a week with the device and this is my review. In the box, you get the device itself, which we will set aside for now. Next, we have a complimentary silicone case and the usual paperwork. The charging cable also used for data transfer. A pair of headphones, which is nice to see as more and more manufacturers leave these out of the retail packaging. And the wall adapter, capable of fast charging as you can see from this close-up. It has a maximum power output of 18 watts, but is able to vary its voltage between 5 and 12 volts for faster top-up times. The device itself is big, as expected, with that 5.7-inch display and no moves to minimize bezels as is the current trend. On the very glossy plastic back, you have the Infinix logo and the 13-megapixel camera with a dual LED flash. Moving over to the right side, we have the volume rocker and power/lock button, which are very well placed on this big device. The front of the device is dominated by the 5.7-inch Full HD display. Below that is the front-mounted fingerprint reader. On top of the display are the usual array of sensors as well as a front-facing flash and an LED notification light. The back of the device is removable, but don't get too excited, you cannot access the hefty 4300 mAh battery. What you do get access to are the SD card and SIM card slots. As you can see, that glossy back is a bit of a fingerprint magnet. Now let's boot the device up and put it through its paces. Before that, I have the OnePlus 3T here, so we can do some size and weight comparisons. The Note 4 is evidently larger because of its larger display. What is surprising, however, is how much heavier than the OnePlus it is, and I don't think that the significantly larger battery is enough to account for that. But let's put the 3T off to the side and dive into the review. The fingerprint sensor is fast and generally accurate, the only drawback being that it's not always on. The display is a 5.7-inch 1920 by 1080 IPS LCD panel that is bright and vibrant. It can get very bright for decent sunlight legibility and dim down sufficiently enough for use in the dark. The touch panel is also very good and registers all touches. When dealing with a budget device, one is always on the lookout for where corners may have been cut. I am happy to report that the display is not one of those areas. XOS is what Infinix calls the changes it makes to stock Android, and it's about midway between a light skin like, say, Oxygen OS or the skin on the new Nokia Android devices and something heavy like Xiaomi's MIUI or Huawei's EMUI. The quick settings pane is heavily themed with a ton of mostly useful quick toggles that can be arranged as one sees fit. The settings app is also fairly heavily themed, but everything is where it's supposed to be, along with a couple of extras exclusive to XOS. The app drawer is the standard one you get in XOS with the apps grouped by alphabet. XOS comes with a huge amount of bloatware and I uninstalled as many of them as I could. There are, however, a group of them that are quite useful. Xpower helps you manage battery usage and eke out as much usage as you can from a single charge. Xshare lets you send files between devices. Xtheme gives you access to a decent set of themes, fonts and wallpapers to change the look of your device. Xhide allows you hide sensitive files from prying eyes. Xsecurity allows you lock apps and manage app permissions. Now going back to that bloatware, one thing I'm not fond of is how much of the 16 gigabytes of storage is taken up by stuff out of the box. As you can see here, you get less than 10 gigabytes for apps and files of your own. That SD card slot will come in handy sooner than later. And now the camera. The Note 4 has a 13 megapixel rear camera with a dual LED flash that can shoot 1080p videos. Images are very good with great light. In low light and complex scenes, however, we begin to see where this is a budget device. It cannot and definitely should not be expected to perform as well as devices that cost 5 to 6 times more. The camera viewfinder is nice and decluttered with settings and modes hidden away and accessible via swipes. A swipe to the right allows you to switch between modes, and a swipe to the left brings up a set of useful guide tools and a shortcut to the settings for the camera. There is a pretty decent Pro mode on board that gives ability to tweak shutter speed, ISO, white balance, and exposure compensation. The 8 megapixel selfie camera is also pretty decent, turning out very Instagrammable selfies. Just remember to dial that beautification slider all the way down. In low light, there is a front-facing flash with adjustable levels of intensity to help keep noise out of your club selfies. Battery life is really good on this device. It consistently makes it through a day of medium to heavy use, and when you have to top up, the fast charge technology that Infinix dubs X-Charge will juice you up in pretty decent time, taking less than 90 minutes to bring the large battery to the high 80s. Performance has also been very decent in my time of testing. It has yet to buckle under any task I throw at it. Here's hoping that does not degrade over time. All in all, the Infinix Note 4 is a solid offering at this price point, with a sturdy build, good display, decent camera and performance, and great battery life. All the steps Infinix have taken from the predecessor are in the right direction, and they have delivered a device that will be a favorite for shoppers looking in the budget section in this holiday season. Thanks for watching, guys. Don't forget to give this video a thumbs up if you liked it and subscribe if you haven't. I'll see you guys in the next one.